Hi, here we are. Welcome back. We're at Module 2, and in this module, we're going to be talking about qualitative data collection. We'll be specifically pulling from Hober and Shaw's article, and we'll talk a little bit about this debate of qualitative versus quantitative. I would be remiss if I did not address this data collection debate. Depending upon the discipline, often depends upon the type of data collection preferred. What we have seen typically in the sport management discipline is that quantitative data collection methods have been favored or more regularly done over qualitative. Typically, we see qualitative data collection done in more of our social sciences. However, as we will talk also in Module 3, mixed methods has become a bit more common in sport management or using both qualitative and quantitative data collection methods. But also I do want to point out that qualitative data collection has been earning credibility among the sport management discipline as well as been gaining some traction. So again, typically quantitative data collection has won out in the sport management discipline, but more of late, qualitative data collection is gaining some traction. Obviously, I previously mentioned that for the most part, this discipline of sport management has lended itself towards quantitative data collection methods. So why use qualitative methods in sport management research? Hober and Shaw provide a very interesting piece regarding that very thing, and they make a couple of arguments that I think are valuable and are worth mentioning here. There's a need to broaden and deepen the current research. Moreover, qualitative data methods give voice to marginalized or overlooked groups and populations. The longer we do research in sport management, the more we recognize that there are certain groups of people that are marginalized and are certain populations that are overlooked when it comes to attending, spectating, or even participating in sport. Qualitative data methods allow us to think deeper, and as I've talked about in our first go around, it helps us get at the why. So for example, maybe a certain group or population regularly attend golf sporting events, and in the same token, a particular group or population don't regularly attend golf sporting events. Qualitative data methods help us get at the why. So why does group A attend and why does group B not attend? Our article from Stride, Fitzgerald, and Allison provide us a very specific example of qualitative research. It's called narrative inquiry. What is it? So narrative inquiry is a way to generalize, analyze, and represent stories of lived experiences. It is giving voice to certain groups, and as we saw in Hober and Shaw, it particularly may be those marginalized or overlooked populations. So what are the reasons why we could potentially use this approach in qualitative research, and or why would it be valuable? First, we think about this narrative inquiry. It typically is smaller stories or smaller groups. I want to make mention that Stride, Fitzgerald, and Allison state that those small stories relate to big stories. And ultimately, those stories tell us or retell us those authentic lived experiences. It gives us the why. Qualitative research comes with its own set of challenges. As we've talked prior, the sport management discipline lends itself towards quantitative data collection methods. Therefore, historically, qualitative research has not had the same credibility in the field. Some have questioned whether it was a legitimate form of data collection. Getting past that stigma is one of the challenges related to qualitative research. Second, qualitative research is heavily intensive in terms of the time required for meaningful analysis. The ability to engage with a population and effectively understand and retell their narratives is time intensive and can be difficult to do. Therefore, in some instances, people have chosen not to do qualitative research, one, because it wasn't credible in the field, and it is a very intensive way to do research. You can argue that quantitative research is easier to collect that data. However, we've been learning that qualitative research does give us a more rich, potentially a more in-depth look at a scenario or situation. More so, it gives voice to those marginalized or potentially overlooked groups. So while there are challenges with qualitative research can be especially rewarding. Yes, this module is a little short, but that's particularly because I want to call your attention to two review videos that are available. These videos give a good overview of our qualitative methods. Please spend some time reviewing those. Additionally, I want to sum up this section with also the examples provided from Hober and Shaw and Stride, Fitzgerald, and Allison. They provide us specific ways to look at and think about qualitative research.